Hello, everyone. What's going on? Thank you so much for joining me here on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. I know, guys, it's been a little while since I've created a video, and I know I've been a little busy taking care of some other things that needed my attention. But yes, now I'm back. I'm back with a video today about we're going to continue this series about the different abuses that the narcissist does to people, dishes out to people. Now, last video I spoke about physical abuse, so now for this video I'm going to be talking about verbal abuse. Yes, this is something that the narcissist does a lot, whether you know it or not, or whether you want to understand it or not. The narcissist, like we've said, they thrive off of chaos, confusion, and control. Those are the three things we mentioned on my channel, and this is really important to note because the narcissist does do these things. And today we're going to be talking about verbal abuse. Verbal abuse is something that we don't talk about that often, and many people are experiencing. Even right now, while I'm creating this video, somebody is being verbally abused by a narcissist or a toxic person. So it's very important that we understand what verbal abuse is. So let's start off by talking about what verbal abuse actually is. And before we get into it, I just want to say. If you want a one-on-one session, you can definitely email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com. If you ever need somebody to vent to, someone to talk to about if you're possibly in a relationship with a narcissist, or if there's someone in your life that you think may be a narcissist, but you can't seem to put your finger on it, I'm more than happy to give you tips and help you out with that. You can reach out to me at 647-406-3057 if you ever want to talk, if you ever need some advice, if you need somebody to vent to. I'm more than willing to hear you out. And I can definitely get you the help that you need. So we are going to be talking about verbal abuse. So first, before we talk about it, we need to define what verbal abuse actually is. So what verbal abuse is anything that the narcissist says to try and exert control over you, or they try to put you down. So that is essentially what verbal abuse is in definition, in a nutshell. So now we want to understand, why exactly does the narcissist verbally abuse people, and what types of things, what do they say? What does a narcissist say that makes it that they are verbally abusing someone? Now, when it comes down to, I'm going to answer the first question, which is, why does the narcissist verbally abuse people? Now, the answer to this is, again, what I mentioned in the beginning and what I mentioned so often, frequently in my videos, which is the narcissist thrives off of chaos, confusion, and control. And they know that if they can say something to verbally abuse you, then they know that they've got you. They know that when they say those things to you, that you're going to be confused, because you're going to be like, why would they say something like that? Why are they verbally abusing me if I've been such a great person to them? The answer to that question is because the narcissist, remember what I mentioned in one of my other videos, the narcissist is an empty person. They don't think the same way that me and you think. These aren't normal people, that everyday people that you're dealing with. You're dealing with people, we're dealing with someone or people who are deranged, and they're very twisted inside of their mind. Then they don't see right as right. They see right as wrong, and they see your empathy as weak, and they see that they can't empathize, they can't love. They're very empty people. That's why they can go from relationship to another relationship in the blink of an eye, just like that, because they're empty. There's nothing to them, right? They don't have the same love that me and you possess. You know what I mean? And they don't have the love of God inside of them. That's another thing. The narcissist is a reprobate. They have reprobate minds. And because they have reprobate minds, they can't fathom how somebody can love to the extent that they can't. I'm going to say that again. They can't understand how someone can love to the extent that they can't. Right? And so that's why they verbally put people down, because it also makes narcissists feel good. They get, and I know that sounds very nasty, doesn't it? The fact that somebody could verbally abuse you and it can make them feel so good. That's very nasty, but it's true. The narcissist verbally abuses people because it gives them a high. Like, it's almost like a drug. When people who are drug addicts and they take drugs, it makes them feel good, right? Same with the narcissist. When they are verbally abusing someone, it gives them power. It makes them feel good about themselves. The fact that they're verbally abusing someone, it makes them feel good. Now we're going to answer the question, what types of things does the narcissist say that means that they are verbally abusing someone? So they say things, they can say anything. Now, it's not so much what they say, it's how they say it, right? And I mention this a lot, not just not my videos necessarily, but in life in general. It's not always what people say, it's how they say it. You know what I mean? And there's many different ways that people can say things another way that doesn't come across as abusive, okay? Now, the narcissist says things like this. They say things along the lines of, you will never amount to anything. I'm as good as it gets for you. You will never find anybody that's as good as me. You're not good enough for me. They say things. They say things along the lines of, why do you do the things that you do? Why do you work out so much if you love working out? Why do you read so much if you love to read? Why do you do all the things that? Why do you do all those things? Those things are boring. Like, nobody does that. Like, they say things like this, and they say things like this because they're trying to exert control over you so that you don't do those things, and they're trying to confuse you because they want to put you in a state of confusion where you then start questioning yourself and you start saying, maybe the things I do are boring. And then you end up stop doing those things because the narcissist has gotten control over you. It's like they put a spell on your mind, and it's like they're trying to twist and control your mind. I remember when I was married to my ex-narcissist wife, and one of the things she said to me, because I work out a lot, like I love to work out because it keeps me healthy, and it's good to work out. You know what I mean? And so when I was working out one morning, she saw me and she's like, "Why do you work out? Why do you work out so much? Why do you have to work out?" And my reply, all I said was, because I want to, and it makes me healthy, right? And so the narcissist, and so what she was doing, what she was trying to control me, and she was trying to get me to stop working out because she wanted me not to be my best self. And I know that when I work out and I'm healthy, it keeps me at my best. It keeps me performing at 100% at a high level. So the narcissists, they do this because they want to, they know also. Keep in mind, the narcissist knows what they're doing, right? Don't ever think for a second that the narcissist does not know what they're doing. Everything that the narcissist does, everything the narcissist says, it's calculated. And it's calculated in the sense that they know what buttons to press with you. Why? Because the minute the narcissist met you, they were studying you from afar. They were watching you. And it's this idea that people in general, in general throughout all the world, we're always being watched by someone. If you think that people aren't watching you, now I'm not trying to say be paranoid. Don't be paranoid looking over your shoulder thinking that the person over there is watching you for something bad. Don't be doing that. I'm just saying that when it comes down to it, people are always watching people. But in the narcissistic relationship, the minute the narcissist was watching you and they knew what was, and when they met you and they got to know you, that's why, notice this. Notice when you met the narcissist, when you came in contact with the narcissist was always asking you so many questions about yourself. They kept asking you questions and they wanted to know so much more about you. And I'm guessing that when you met them, you were oversharing. You were telling them things about yourself in the past. You were telling them your goals, your aspirations, your things you wanted to achieve. And the narcissist knew this. They were taking notes, mental notes inside their mind. And for example, if you told the narcissist, yes, I want to get married, I want to have kids, I want to have a family, the narcissist knew this. And they knew that one day their calculated move would either be that they were going to have kids with you, and then they were going to just abandon you and leave the kids, or they were going to take the kids from you. They were going to do parental alienation, and they were going to take your kids away from you. And they also knew that one day, perhaps they would, because they knew that you wanted to get married, when it came time for you guys to talk about getting married, they would say, "Oh, I never said that. I never said I wanted to get married." And they use this to control you, right? Now that's gaslighting. If you watch my video, if you haven't watched my video on if this is your first video you're watching, I encourage you to watch my video on what is gaslighting, because that's really important, okay? But that's gaslighting, and they're trying to control you, and they're trying to cause chaos, because now you're losing your mind, because and now you're going into a chaotic, a frenzy, because you're wondering what the heck just happened. We talked about this in the beginning. Inside your mind, you're saying this, and you start telling the narcissist this, and what's happening now is that now that you're explaining to them, the narcissist is getting supply from you explaining to them, because now they know that they've dumped their toxicity into you, and now what that they've dumped their toxicity into you, all that's coming out of you is toxicity now. And the narcissist is getting a thrill from seeing you explain. They're getting a thrill from seeing you from seeing you, be upset. They're getting a thrill of just being there in the moment with you, because they know that they can't love. They know that there's nothing to them, and they know that their sole purpose is to make your life difficult. But they'll never tell you this. The narcissist will never admit that. That's why when the relationship ends, it usually ends where the narcissist already has the new supply lined up, or they just leave you. They just up and leave without explanation. They don't give you closure, and they don't sit down and talk with you and say, hey, I'm sorry for how things left. I'm sorry about what I did to you. This is who I am. The narcissist can't do any of that. Why? Because they would have to introspect, and the narcissist cannot do that. They cannot see things the way that me and you see things, through an empathetic, a positive lens. They can't do that, because narcissists are not like that. They are not built like me and you. They are of the devil. They are reprobate minds. So this is why I've said, when you find out that you are dealing with a narcissist, when you find out, the other thing the narcissist does when they're verbally abusing you is they'll be passive aggressive. They'll say that, for example, if you're with them, and you guys are having or you just say, let's just say you say something like, that sports team is a really good team, and then they'll say something passive like, yeah, I'm glad you think that. Yeah, and then you're going to be wondering, okay, why would they ever? It's because they want to keep you stuck. They want to control you. They want to beat you down with words. Some of them even resort to calling people names. They'll call you names like stupid. They'll say you're dumb. They'll make passive aggressive jibes at your personality. They'll say you have such a personality that nobody likes. The thing, and keep in mind, when the narcissist is verbally abusing you, I want to tell you guys a secret. One, the narcissist knows that they're verbally abusing you. Second, is that when they're verbally abusing you, believe it or not, the narcissist is actually projecting. They're using it as a projection to project their own negative traits onto you. So if they're saying that you are, what's it called? My ex-wife said this about me in the beginning. One of the things that the narcissist loves to say is that you're very awkward. Yeah, that's it. They like to say you're awkward, and when they say that, they're actually, narcissists are very awkward people to be around as well. They're very passive aggressive. Many times you don't know where you stand with them. Many times you can't understand a word that they're saying, because they're just saying words. They like to word salad you on everything, right? The narcissist, when they do this, when they're making these passive aggressive things, saying you're awkward, saying things like, you never know what you're talking about, nothing you say makes sense, they're actually projecting. They're saying that because that's what they are. They're awkward, and they're strange, and they don't know what they're talking about half the time. That's why many people, when they're dealing with the narcissist, many times they end up distancing themselves, to get away from these people, because narcissists, they like to drain people's energy, and they like to verbally abuse people for no reason. And that's what a lot of the times when a narcissist verbally abuses you, just know this, okay? That you didn't do anything wrong. You did nothing wrong to deserve that verbal abuse that the narcissist is dishing out to you. You didn't do anything wrong. I promise you that for sure. You did nothing wrong to deserve verbal abuse. They're doing that because they need to exert control over their victims. They need to exert control over people. 1 minute in a narcissistic relationship or marriage is 1 minute too long. Once you figure out that they're a narcissist, you need to run for the hills. Once you figure out that they've love bombed you, that they're doing things, they're just doing things for doing things, and you don't even know this person, or you've only known this person for like a month, and they're already talking about, I want to move, we should move in together, we should start business together, I'll pray for you every single night, things like that. You need to run for the hills from these people, because chances are And I answered this question, that why did the narcissist target you? Well, the narcissist targeted you because they saw that you had something that they cannot possess. So for example, if you have a level of empathy, narcissists feed off of people with empathy. It's like Thanksgiving, it's like Christmas dinner. It's like you're a moth to a flame. When they find out that you are empathetic, they feed off of that and they capture it for a period of time because they know that they cannot possess empathy. They know that they're inside of them, inside of their soul, they have no soul. They are empty. They are without anything inside of them. That's why they're the devil. The devil is a roaring lion. The devil is empty. That's why the devil can just plot to kill people and he can get a thrill from doing that. Right? And it's the same with narcissists, right? They go around destroying people's lives. They're like the devil in human form. Call them that. They're like the devil in human form. And they go around destroying people's lives, and they go around manipulating and conning people out of their money, financially abusing people, which I'll make a video on soon. So this is how the narcissist goes around verbally abusing people. They even do this. Let me give you something else before I close the video. Another thing that the narcissist does is they verbally abuse you behind your back. Now, they do the smear campaign. They verbally abuse you via the smear campaign. What is the smear campaign? If this is your first video, the smear campaign is when the narcissist is going around to people you know, family members, friends, coworkers, people you know, and they will go around and tell flat out lies about you, or they'll just make things up about you. Narcissists are pros at making things up. That's why I said earlier in the video, the narcissist knows exactly what they're doing. Why? Because they've done this before they even met you. They've been doing it since the dawn of mankind. Narcissism has been around forever, but it's only now that it's becoming more and more prevalent and people are talking more and more about it, because the devil knows that his time is almost up. That's why he's making his face known, because he knows that very soon he won't be able to do this stuff no more. All right. So keep this in mind, that the narcissists, they know exactly what they're doing. And when they're smearing you, smear campaigning you, it happens in places you don't even know about too. Like if you're in the store, the narcissist can go blabble and tell flat out lies about you to people in the store. They can do it in the church. You know, there's a lot of narcissists in the church, unfortunately. We're learning that these days. You know, a lot of people are, going around telling flat out lies about people in the church. It even happens at work, where you have a narcissistic boss or you have a narcissistic coworker who's going around telling flat out lies about other people. And how they start out their flat out lies is they say, don't tell anybody this, but so and so is a little bit unstable. They don't exactly know, what this means, what that means, and maybe you should stay away from them, but don't tell them I said that. That's the way the narcissist goes about the smear campaign. Now, are they gonna do it in front of you? Sometimes they actually do. Sometimes they actually do that. I remember when I was married to my ex-narcissist wife, and we were out at some festival or something like that. And we were around our supposed friends, and I was standing there, and we were just conversing with the friend, and the ex-narc wife, narcissist wife, she said something along the lines of, my husband believes that, and she's saying this right in front of me to our friend, and the friend's there with another friend. She's saying this right in front of me. She's like, my husband says that you should wait 5 years in order to get engaged and get married, but don't listen to anything he says. Anything he says is wrong. And the friend, he was like, he was shocked, and I saw it on his face. Like, it was very subtle, and it was subtle, but I saw it on his face. And I noticed that, and then when it was over and we left, I told her I wanted to speak to her about it, and then we went and we spoke about it at home, and then she deflected everything. She deflected and said that I didn't say anything wrong. Why are you taking everything so personal? And I was just like, what? So these are some of the ways that the narcissist verbally abuses people. And like I said, narcissists, one thing you should know about them is that they're extremely passive aggressive people. They like to get away with things, under the radar. And they like to get away with murder. So I hope that helped you. Hey, if you have anything you want to mention, please drop comments below if you know what I'm talking about. The fact that this is how the narcissist verbally abuses people, and the fact that they like to do it in a very snide way. Now, before I close the video, I want to mention something important. Now, There are different types of narcissists, and these commentators are bothering me with this nonsense that narcissism is on a spectrum and blah 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 blah. Narcissism is not on a damn spectrum. Please stop saying this nonsense that narcissism is on a spectrum. It is not. The fact that there are different narcissists, that does not mean it is on a spectrum. That doesn't mean it's on a spectrum. It just means that there are different types of narcissists. And if you didn't watch my video about covert, overt, grandiose, religious, malignant, please go and watch those videos again. But the covert narcissist is the narcissist that's extremely passive aggressive. These ones are the ones that are sneaky and will be doing the smear campaign behind your back without you even knowing it from the day that they meet you. Okay? The covert narcissist is a pro at the smear campaign. They're a pro at being very snide and very nasty, and they're a pro at doing things flying under the radar without you even knowing it, becoming and being passive aggressive. The covert narcissist also verbally abuses you, but they do it in a very snide, very passive aggressive way. Know that about the covert narcissist. Now, the overt narcissist, on the other hand, they're very verbally abusive. They're a little more verbally abusive than the covert. Why? Because the overt, is very loud and they're very rambunctious, and they just come out and they just do it. They're like the covert, but they're not as passive aggressive and snide as they are. They come out and they just do it. Okay. The grandiose narcissist is the same as the overt, except the grandiose, think of the grandiose as like a clown at a clown show. You know what I mean? They're very much like a clown. They're very rambunctious and loud and go lucky and smiley and all this. They want to be the center of the tent. All narcissists want to be the center of the attention, but the grandiose is more so like that. They need to make it seem as though they are the best thing since sliced bread when they're far from that. But the grandiose, they'll verbally abuse you as well if given the chance. Now, the malignant narcissist is the most, I made a video on the malignant narcissist. They're the most dangerous of all narcissists. Like, these are the ones that will physically abuse you, that will put their hands on you and hit you. And they will also verbally abuse you, call you stupid, and will swear at you and swear vulgarity against you and all that. The malignant narcissist will do that at the same time, putting their hands on you. Like, the malignant narcissists are dangerous. Stay the heck away from them. Now, the religious narcissist, they also will verbally abuse you by saying that by abusing you with scripture. They'll abuse you, and I made a video about malignant narcissists. They'll abuse you with scripture, but they'll also, some of them don't even know God. They're also reprobates too, but they won't say that. The religious narcissist will swear on the Bible that they are Christian, and then when they swear on the Bible, they'll also swear verbally vulgarity at you because they want to confuse you and say that they're a Christian when they're the furthest thing from a Christian, right? So I just wanted to make that known to you, how the other narcissists verbally abuse you. Yeah, guys, so I hope that this video helped you out. I hope that you gained something from this video. If you have experience with the narcissist verbally abusing you, please drop comments below, because you are helping the community, the Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code community. And you are also presenting your own experiences, which I can benefit from, because I'm every day still learning about narcissism. I'm trying to grow in my knowledge as well, and I'm also trying to teach people as well. So I hope that this video helped you out. Please like, please subscribe, please share it with someone who you think could use the wisdom and the knowledge. Please share with somebody who you believe could benefit from this video. Like I said, I mentioned in the beginning, if you want a one-on-one session, email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com. Or you can reach out to me through text. If you want to call me and talk to me, please send me a text at 647-406-3057, just so that I know it's you, and mention that I want to talk to you about my narcissistic experience or relationship. I'd be more than happy to speak to you over the phone. Please just text just so that I know it's you, just so I'm not getting calls from random numbers and all that. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me here on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code. Me, Paul Wisdom, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Until next time, thank you.